we're going to do is we're going to bring up some very funny young comics, very funny up-and-coming comics here in Denver, Colorado, one of the hottest comedy markets in the country right now. Coming up first to the stage, you already know him, you love him from the sound check earlier, so I know you've been waiting to see him again. Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Stern right there. Daryl Stern, bring it to the stage.
Check one. Mic check 1, 2. Right now, I'll do the mic check. How's everybody doing? Stop watching soccer. You don't even know what the fuck that is. No one. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So I love Disney movies. Anybody love Disney movies? No, not at all. Thanks. Okay, well, so Disney seems to have run out of ideas, for their movies. They ran out of different stories to tell. Like they're doing fucking Hercules and fucking weird shit. That they're just running out of ideas. So, and then they did the Hunchback of Notre Dame, right, back in the 90s. And I didn't even watch this because I thought it was totally ridiculous to do a Disney movie about this. So, the opening, they're all quiet, and there's dark and there's gloom, and they're in this big cathedral, and then all of a sudden here he comes, out of the darkness, out of the tower into the bright light. I live all alone in a church tower all of my life. And how the fuck you learn to sing like that? I'm sorry, I was expecting something a little bit more realistic, like I live in the tower. And what the fuck was the point of Disney making this movie? I mean, I'm sorry, but what was the moral of the story? Sit up straight, kids, or you'll end up like me. I don't know, well, that went over well. Okay, so brought the fucking puppet and everything. Oh well. So, what else? It's a crazy world. They have all these things around that I realize that this is a bar, with men and women in it, a bar. So I'll tell some jokes about beer and pussy. All right, here we go. So, I went out with this girl, I bought her a beer, and I came home and she let me pet my cat. There, was that? No? Well, that's my fucking life, so fuck all of you. I'm just making up shit all the time. Okay, so, has anybody ever been, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So, when I was a kid, I loved Disney stuff, so they had these, Disney, they had the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I really wanted to be a pirate, because I was like, this would be really cool. Then when I got older, I realized these pirates are out at sea for months and months, all by themselves, men on a ship, all alone, for months and months, singing, yo ho, blow the man down. And I rethought this whole idea of wanting to be a pirate, so what I did basically is I came up with some gay pirate pickup lines. Okay, so here they are. Ner, me leg's not the only part of me made of wood. Ner. Hey kid, why don't you come over here and swap me poop deck, nerg? Don't get offended, none of you are pirates. Please. So it's a crazy world. We have all these things around that we just don't need. For instance, they put all this, because of the PC and all this other, everything's got to be friendly to everybody, and I say, pfft. But anyway, so they have, follow me on this. This is a thinker, okay? Thank God I'm going first and not later, right? Because then they'll have too many, right? We were discussing that. They have Braille instructions at some drive-through bank machines. Now I'm thinking, who drove the car? I'm giving you a visual to explain the joke. Okay. At the front, you drive up to Wendy's, and there's a sign with the handicap symbol there, and it says, if you're having trouble getting into the store, please come in and see the manager. I was driving around in Las Vegas, and we were driving along, and there's a big giant building, and it says, School for the Blind, big sign, in Braille, right? I'll explain it since you're not laughing yet. So, the couple pulls over and Harold, get out the ladder. Let's see if we're in the right place. Now you get it. So, has anyone, okay, so who here is a crazy parent? One to a couple, okay, who here has crazy parents? Okay. My mom was absolutely crazy. She would jump out of nowhere and like say the most awful, most depressing things at totally the wrong times. The one time she just jumped up and she goes, "If a man happens to come to the door with $1 million, don't sell the cat." I'm like, "Ma, for $1 million, I'll eat the fucking cat." Oh my God. Is someone whistling because it's time to stop or go, or no? Just people are whistling at me. Well, thanks. Gosh, golly. What else do we want to talk? Okay, so I've noticed how Frank Oz. Do you guys know who Frank Oz is? Or am I dating myself? He works with the Muppets. He does like the voice of Miss Piggy and a bunch of other. Well, he can hardly only do one voice for all of his characters. So I'm sitting home watching Sesame Street, brushing up on my basic skills, and there's Grover going, "Today we are going to talk about near and far. This is near. This is far. Near and far." And if you're 43, then you fucking remember that. But anyway, it was like, right? We were talking about. So then I would turn on The Empire Strikes Back. That's the second Star Wars movie. That's now the seventh Star Wars movie. That was the third Star Wars movie. But who the fuck cares, right? You don't care about that. You're watching the football. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So then you turn on The Empire Strikes Back, and there's Yoda going, "Use the Force, Luke." And I'm like, "Grover, man, is that you?" It's like, did Frank Oz ever get confused on the set of The Empire Strikes Back and be like, "Today's use of the Force was sponsored by the letter P"? I don't know. I think that's good enough for me, Eugene, if you want to come back on over here. I really enjoyed entertaining all of you. There used to be wild animals here, and then they killed them all and made a bar and hung the animal heads on the wall. It's awesome. All right. Thank you very much.
Daryl Stern right there. Daryl Stern. Excellent. All right, let's just keep the comedy train on the fast track. Way to open the show. Daryl, nice. All right, up to the stage now comes Denver's funniest lawyer, Frank Shook It. Right there's Frank Shook It.
Let's give it up for Eugene. Everything I know about fashion I learned from him. Hey, all right. My name is Frank Shook It. I hold the title of funniest lawyer in Denver. Let me tell you, that was a contest you did not want to see. Came down to me and Frank Azar. I won and he sued me. It's okay, we settled out of court. Anyway, I practice law so I can pay for my kids' education. I do the comedy so I can tell the truth. Thank you. That one didn't go over as well at the Bar Association talent show. I know what you're thinking, is there a Bar Association talent show? Of course there is. Last year was won by a magician, a guy named Raul. He can make felony charges disappear. So I practice law so I can pay for my kids' education, because education is very expensive. But I have paid for my last college tuition statement. How about that? Thank you. I talked my youngest into dropping out. I'm kidding. We're very serious about education in my family. Live in Denver. When my oldest daughter was going to high school, we got to choose which one. You could tour around. She looked at East High up on Colfax. She didn't end up going there, but a lot of her friends did. About 6 months into 9th grade, she comes to me and she goes, "Dad, if I'd gone to East, by now, I would have done a lot of drinking, would have smoked a lot of pot, and I would have done a lot of making out." I looked at her, I said, "I'd like to go to East." All right, you too, yeah. No, education is expensive. A friend of mine, mid-50s, had his first kid. 55, he comes to me and says, "Frank, you must know, what should I do about saving for college?" I said, "Ken, in your case, just buy life insurance." It's a plan. What else? Things are going crazy in the world. The Sunni Muslims are taking over Iraq. It's a terrible thing. I think we ought to unfriend these people on Facebook. That's all you can do. Man, everybody's doing is Facebook. Anybody know these people who spend all day sending out bulletins on Facebook about the smallest little thing they're doing? I'm wondering, do these people even have time left for traditional masturbation? You know, Facebook masturbation, traditional masturbation, much better than Facebook masturbation. I mean, you're not going to offend anybody else, except maybe the other people on the bus. That's for Eugene. Man, cell phones everywhere. Everybody's always on their cell phone. It's incredible, you know. Thinking, can you think of anything else you can hold in one hand that has gotten people so obsessed that is not a body part? No, it's amazing. I was thinking, has there ever been anything like it? It turns out, back in 1400, when they invented the handheld compass, we had the same thing going on. People walking around, dude, I'm not ignoring you. I just want to know which way is northwest. All right, needs some work. Okay. What else? So I'm a lawyer and I doing comedy, so I meet a lot of these other young comics. Most of these guys, the only other lawyer they ever met was court appointed. All right, got to get your attention back. Okay. A lot of them, they ask me questions about the law. Some guy recently said, Frank, what's the difference between jail and prison? I said, well, jail is where you go after you've been caught, where they hold you for trial. Prison is where you go to serve your sentence after you've been convicted. It's kind of like the difference between being engaged and being married. Except there's more sex in prison. We got some ex-cons over there. Okay. All right. What else? Looks like Hillary Clinton's going to run for president, possibly. You know, I think she did a great job as Secretary of State. She made our country more respected all over the world. But I'm worried that if she's the president, our country would become more isolated internationally. Let me explain. When a foreign leader visits Washington, the foreign leader spends a day with our president. The foreign leader's spouse spends a day with our president's spouse. You with me there? Yeah. He's kind of risky. But Bill Clinton's kind of cool, though. He's a good guy. He helps out. You know, he flew to North Korea to help get these two women journalists out of jail. He was cool, but he was a little confused. He landed in the North Korean capital. He said, Pyongyang, what's this? I thought you were taking me to Poontang. You guys don't like politics, huh? Okay. Where's my Cheney people? All right. Dick Cheney, did y'all read he had a heart transplant? Yeah, what they don't tell you is he shot the donor. Just want to see if you're still paying attention. Yeah, Dick Cheney. He's an ugly man, but I thought he got a bad deal when people were complaining he didn't go to the press for 24 hours after he shot that guy in Texas. That's not fair. How many times do you think Bill Clinton was out hunting on a weekend? Shot someone all over the face and chest. We never heard about it. Of course, those weren't accidents. It's a mess. It's a mess over there. People say Iraq, it's turned out just like Vietnam. I don't think so. Vietnam, the hookers were much better looking. That's for the older guys. Okay. All right. Talking about Dick Cheney and a heart surgery. I had to have some heart surgery. Worked out okay, so I'm here to tell you about it. Had to have my aortic valve replaced. Scared the hell out of me, but my doctor was cool. He said, Frank, I think you should do this operation now for 2 reasons. 1, I think it'll be low risk, and 2, I want to buy a boat. So I figured, man, what are you going to do? He said, we're going to take out your aortic valve, and we're going to give you a pig's valve. I said, Doc, whoa, where do you get these pig's valves? You know, the back door at the Swift plant in Greeley? He said, no, they're Hormel. I said, you got anything from Hebrew National? So I got the pig's valve. You wouldn't even know I had a pig's valve, except I've developed a taste for sorghum and I've stopped flushing the toilet. I'm kidding. I don't like sorghum. Oh boy, it was tough being in the hospital though. You don't know what's going on. I'm laying in that hospital bed. Some tall redhead from the Ukraine comes in. She goes, I'm here to give you EKG. I said, okay, whatever. She opens up my gown. She looks at me and she goes, oh, man with scar is a real man. I found out later she didn't even work for the hospital. I think I got pretty good insurance. Yeah. All right. What else? Did y'all read about this student up at CU Boulder, brought pot brownies to class, gave them out, didn't tell anybody what was in them? The other students were really pissed off when they found out these brownies were made with gluten. All right, you're a great crowd. You know, a lot of people say marijuana is a gateway drug. I don't think so. I think it's more like a cul-de-sac. If you're laughing, you live there. Okay. Thanks a lot, Frank Shook, and have a great rest of the night.
Frank Shook, the funniest lawyer in Denver, right there. Right there. Dick Black, stay. Okay, right. I was in his seat. Oh! You had stolen a seat. All right, your next comic, very funny young man. One of my favorite comics and one of my favorite people recently in the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, Dick Black coming to the stage right now to bring the funny.
What's it up?
Tripping. How's everybody doing? Right on. So you guys are like, Dick Black, what the fuck is going on around here? My parents are Indian, so y'all gotta forgive me and shit. My name was Black Dick, but you know, that had to change. That had to change. Man. Public transportation ace. Y'all taking the bus, right? Y'all take the train, all y'all take the light rail? Do you guys look before you sit down? Do you? Because I've seen people walk off that train pregnant. Like they're on Maury Povich. Like, that is not the seat. That one is the seat. That is the father. Them seats is nasty as hell. I'm looking for a Groupon so I get on that damn thing. That thing's expensive. I try to hold on to a transfer for 2 weeks. Like, shit. Sir, today is not the 11th. It seems like it to me. It's good until 10. Shut the hell up. I'm a Denver native. I was born and raised here in Colorado. I was born at National Negro Memorial Hospital. You guys ever heard of that? Also known as Denver General. That's right. I was the first black kid born that year, 1976. And to celebrate, they put a pillow over my face. I was the first baby born with teeth. I bit through the pillow. It's like, you guys ain't gonna kill me that easy. No siree. I was one of 5 blacks that went to my high school. The other 4 were janitors. Three of them were my uncle. You better go back to class before we get you an application. You didn't find that very funny. He was like, why didn't you just drop out? Where my Mexicans at? I love me some Mexicans. Hell yeah. A friend of mine, I'm Mexican. A lot of y'all don't even know. I'm 10% Mexican, but y'all wouldn't know it because I don't have a job. You have never met a Mexican without a job unless he just got in town. You know what I'm saying? Like, you looking for a job, mama?
Change your last name.
Would I be Dick Brown? What the fuck was that? What's up, Dick Brown? I already thought I was brown. And I got my colors all mixed up. My son called me brown. He's like, you're brown. I was like, no, I'm black, son. Watch. Ask that cop. He's black. Put your hands behind your back. Speaking of cops, I just got out of jail and shit. It was fucked up, man. I went to jail for jaywalking. No, I didn't. I went to jail for child support. That's fucked up, man. Like, there's far worse shit that you could go to jail for, and child support should not be one of them. Especially when you pay directly to the mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want that. They want that shit in the registry so they can take their cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody want their money. And one thing I learned in jail, do not take a shower without shoes. Seriously, like I saw like 5 dudes walking around with fat ankles. I thought for sure they had gout. Turns out they had pregnant ankles. I'm like, do you know who the father is? Nope, but I'm getting on Maury Povich. Shit. Yeah, gang member, you can't wear condoms in the shower. I mean, damn, I mean, who jacks off in jail? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was in jail, when my dick started to get hard, I punched it. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know where the fuck we're at? You know? When you pull your dick out and let it look around the room, you know there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you try to get hard, I will elbow your ass. I'm glad I had erectile dysfunction in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dick don't work for nothing. Thank God. I got a colostomy bag. Shit. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. They got gangs. I didn't even know. I'm 38 years old. I know I don't look 30. I look like I'm 40 or some shit. But I didn't know that gangs were still alive and well. Like, there's Crips and Bloods. I mean, there was a Crip in jail for running 424 stoplights. He really hates red. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the dude, every time he gave him an apple, he threw it. It had to be green. I'm like, what the fuck? Skinhead. I mean, let me go ahead and clear this up. I was in work release, which, when you're in work release, that's just a nice way of saying, give me your money, sleep over there. You know what I'm saying? And in jail, like I said, there was a skinhead in there. Dude called me a nigger, but he was wearing Dr. Dre Beats by Dre. I was like, man, I think you're confused, man. Why would you call me a nigger? I saw a skinhead Crip walking. I thought that was something else. DUIs, motherfuckers. I mean, when I was in I was there for child support, and they gave me 180 days, half a year. And when you're in work release, they automatically give you half that sentence. So I only got to do 90 days, which is, I did 87 days. First time ever being in jail, and I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was embarrassing. But there's a dude in there for DUI. He's like, man, they don't give you good time in jail for DUI. I said, motherfucker, you already had a good time. That's why your ass is in here. You had a great time, didn't you? Until they pulled your ass over. They can take you to jail now for weed DUIs, which I think is crazy. I mean, ever since they legalized weed, now they can just tax your ass. I mean, that's pretty much what the whole purpose of legalizing weed was, to tax you. You know what I'm saying? In fact, when I got out of jail, there was like a couple strains of weed that I didn't even know existed. Like, there's a strain of weed out there called cat piss. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this. If you smell this, it smells just like cat piss. And I'm like, how the hell do you get cat weed to smell like cat piss? It turns out you got to put cat piss in the soil. Now, how the hell do you get your hands on some cat piss? It ain't like cats are waiting in line to pee in a cup. It turns out they use ShamWow. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just pour that shit in a beaker and then pour it. Y'all don't know what a beaker is? Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm smoking a strain called Green Mile. You take one hit of this weed, exhale, bees come out of your mouth. Which is cool unless you're allergic to bees. Like, I killed a good friend of mine. Then I brought him back to life after I exhaled again. He was like, that's what's up. But man, I hate that. I love being free. And being free, I gotta tell you, I started dating girls that I would probably never have dated before I went to jail. I dated this girl with one leg. Because I have three, you know what I'm saying? I was like, here, I'll give I give you a leg. And I like dating. I mean, you gotta admit, dating is a lot different these days. Would you agree? Now you're dating on websites. I like challenge. I like having sex on the first date. And so, you know, what better way to have sex on the first date than to date somebody from christianmingle.com, right? Anything is possible, you know what I'm saying? I might see Jesus. I might. When we go on our first date, we come to Ari's. We have some chicken strips. She had on a promise ring, ladies and gentlemen, a promise ring. Then she takes off the promise ring. She says, I'll have sex with you if you promise not to tell anybody. I was like, word? I ain't saying shit. I promise. Somehow that night, I'm talking to her father. I'm like, you know, your daughter took off her promise ring. He says, you're not special. She does that for me too. That's exactly what I said. Then he told me, don't get all bit out of shape. I'm her stepdad. I said, fair enough. Are you paying for this food? Because I'm done. This date is over. But something I do want to tell you, for the last 15 years, I've had a one-night stand for the last 15 years. One-night stand, me, Dick Black. 2 weekends ago, I went to a garage sale. I purchased a nightstand. Now I got 2 nightstands. 2. You know what that means? 2 lamps. That's twice the light. My name is Dick Black. You guys have been a great audience. I got limited edition Denver Nugs t-shirts if you guys want to pick one up. Thank you.
Dick Black. Dick Black. Denver Nugs t-shirts. Dick will be in the back with his Denver Nugs t-shirts. You have all sizes and good to go. All right, I like that. Denver Nugs. Sweet. Can you get them online?
Eventually.
Okay, well, when you watch this on youtube.com at the archive, when I post this, I'll put up a link to Dick Black's Nugs, Denver Nugs t-shirts. All right, cool. Your next comic, right there, very funny, Adam Fodasky. Adam Fodasky, right there. Bring it. Funny, right there.
Funny. Bunch, all sorts of funny. Ari's Tavern, did you hear that? Eugene said I'm funny. It's all downhill from here. This one time I was at work and, it was a little bit too far away from the bathroom and I didn't quite make it there. And, you don't really realize it stinks until you get around your coworkers and they say, oh, what's that smell? It smells like shit. That's something my uncle said to me the last time I was at home, prompted by nothing. I wasn't like, hey, Uncle Jerry, this one time I pooped in my pants at work. How about you? It was just a silence. And he just said that, just volunteered that information out there. So I consider it a success that I can stand in front of people and talk, coming from that family. I'm winning it. Cool, let's just get all the shit out of the system. Some of you might be able to relate to this one. You know how sometimes you sit down and you think you're going to have yourself a regular old-fashioned poop, you're like, just going to have a regular rock and roll Led Zeppelin theme kind of poop, You're just like, all right, when I sit down, when the levee breaks, I'm just going to let the black dog loose and then be ready to rock and roll for the rest of the day. And then just brown ear stomp myself over the hills and far away, Have yourself a good old-fashioned celebration day. You know what I'm saying? But then somewhere in there, your brain and your bowels have a bit of a communication breakdown. And next thing you know, what you thought was going to be this rock and roll poop turns into more of a classical piece, more of a Ludwig van Beethoven themed poop. You know what I'm saying? You realize this as you're starting to hit the third movement, like 40 minutes in to this symphony you're performing. You call it a commode to joy if you want. And, I did this one time. I screamed so loud and felt so much pain from it that I went deaf. Yeah, same thing happened to Beethoven, you guys. He went on to be incredibly successful. You can look it up on Wikipedia. It was updated 2 hours ago. That is an accurate fact on there. You can use Wikipedia for every paper you write. Don't let your teachers tell you different. Is anyone even in school here? I don't even know why I said that. That's silly, huh? All right. But real talk, though. Let me tell you a little something about myself. My name is Adam Fedesky. And I was born and raised on the mean streets of Crystal Lake, Illinois. Yeah. It's an hour and a half outside Chicago. So you know. It's like, it was super white. There's like no other way to put it. But that didn't stop me from justifying my thug when I was growing up. No. I started getting into the gangster rap when I was in middle school. I even went to Marshall's and bought myself a pair of FUBU pants. And I wore them to school. And nobody stopped me. No one said anything to me because there was no us in Crystal Lake, Illinois. But I didn't know at that time of my life what FUBU stood for as a brand. For us, by us. I just took FUBU to be my own personal life slogan, which was, feel unique? Be unique. Yeah. Breaking down that fourth wall. What? This is... Hey, you. That was for the 10,000 people watching at home. You guys might not realize this. I'm like famous in a lot of states. And by famous, I mean I know people in a lot of states. Whatever. It's all relative. I'm going to tell other jokes that I totally memorized. Oh, right. Yep. So like I said, thuggin', you know, growing up in Crystal Lake, Illinois. I live in Denver right now. It's hard to stay thug in Denver. But I like to keep it real. I like to bike a lot of places, you know? I like to take it to the streets. Get connected with the streets, you know what I'm saying? I think I speak for everyone who bikes places when I say, please yell at me out of your car when you're driving by. I need it. I need that validation. If I'm getting from point A to point B and I don't have someone yelling at me, hey asshole, get the fuck off the road. It's like I don't even exist. I mean, if it wasn't for people yelling at me when I was biking, I wouldn't have found out last year that I'm gay. Yeah. I'm biking to Whole Foods, wearing my yoga pants, and this guy calls out to me, he says, hey, nice bike, faggot. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be the first to admit, I got a pretty nice bike, but I had no idea it was as obvious how gay I was coming off to the average person until I went home and did some personal reflection about my life. I was like, Adam, maybe it's because you're wearing yoga pants out in public again. Maybe it's because everywhere you ride, you just grip onto those flat handlebars like a couple of big black dildos. You just try and squeeze those pink and white semen streamers out the tips everywhere you go. That was too much. It was too much. Maybe it's because everywhere I go, I ride with really good posture and a smile. Or maybe it's because I was wearing a helmet. Let's be honest, that was probably it, right? I'm sitting there trying to protect my head, save it for later in life. It's pretty gay. Like, oh, I love my brain, you know? Stupid. I have 2 more jokes, so watch out. They're coming in hot, and I definitely memorized this entire set. That's what it was. This one's for people who have families, or those who don't. I don't know if any of you dealt with this when you were growing up, going through the puberty. Anyone have parents who bought them clothes they could grow into? You know, you're like going through growth spurts. You got to buy clothes they can grow into so they don't grow out of it in a month. Well, my mom took that a step further. She bought me glasses that I could grow into when I was young, which was very important because, as you know, in 5th grade, your face tends to grow about 6 vertical inches. So I was ready for it. I could see out of my eyebrows and out of my cheekbones, and it made a great target for kids to just come up and smack them off of my face. And one time, this happened, and a kid picks him up, puts him on his face, and he's like, oh my God, you're totally blind. I can't believe you could see anything without these things. And so I handled it like the 3rd grade man I was. I ran to the bathroom crying. And as I was in there trying to pull my life together from this low point, I was like, I just gotta go pee. Now, when I was in 3rd grade, I didn't have the giant dick I got today. So I didn't see it at all. I just started peeing. You know, that sound you're supposed to hear when you start peeing and liquid hits liquid? Yeah, I didn't hear that. I just heard because my dick's like a sprinkler, and I was peeing on my pants. I got them down around my ankles. I got to the toilet, and then I peed on them. And I'm just standing there in this denim puddle of shame. I was like, that is the worst sound I've ever heard in my life. And then the recess bell rang. And then that was the worst sound I'd ever heard in my life. I was like, Adam, you got this. You just live in denial. And so I went through a bunch of water on my pants. I went back to class. I was like, guys, that sink is broken. It's totally out of control. And nobody believed me because I smelled like pee. You know what I'm saying? It happens sometimes. I did come out here talking about how I was a thug and everything, and I realize that's a little bit silly to just say that and not back it up. So, I'm going to back it up. Back it up. And so what I'd like to do for you, Ari's Tavern, you see, I've used my rapping skills. I'm a rapper. Might not believe that right away. It's okay, I understand. I'm used to that. But when I was a couple of years ago, I used to teach kids out in the woods, 6th graders, about science and the environment, nature. And one week I had a group of kids that came up from Compton to learn from me. And I was like, how am I going to connect with these kids? And then I just started teaching them everything in rap form. And it was amazing. I had this group of 12-year-olds idolizing me all week. They thought I was the coolest. These 12-year-olds from Compton thought I was the coolest. And at the end of the week, this kid writes on his teacher evaluation, he said, Adam is the best at rapping. He taught us so much this week. Now, unfortunately, kids from Compton are not well known for being champions in the spelling bee, and he spelled rapping with 1 P. So I had a lot of questions to answer on Friday. A lot of people accusing me of like, why did that kid write Adam's the best at raping? He taught us so much this week. Yeah, I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that kid's spelling abilities, but you can't correct that either. You can't be like, actually, I don't think that's what you meant to write, you know? You can't, because then you have to explain what he did right. Anyways, so I'd like to close by teaching y'all a little something, and that is that you can rap about anything if you put your mind to it. So, I would like a couple of suggestions. This is about as interactive as any comedian will ask you to be during their set. A couple of suggestions of things you've never heard someone rap about in your life and you'd like to hear addressed tonight, right now. And I'll do it. What's something you never heard someone rap about?
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights. Good. Couple more. I'm going to weave them all together like a poet.
Beagles.
All right, Christmas lights, beagles, and whales. You might think, wait, wasn't that a Vanilla Ice song? It was, but just for the sake of having something to accompany me, because I don't, it's just, hey, it's Christmas time, y'all. It's Christmas time. So, okay, we're rapping about beagles, whales, and Christmas lights. This is ridiculous. Okay. Check it out. It's December 24th. I wish my mother would have got me something that I wanted, like a beagle. But no, I'm looking under the tree and there's no animals for me. I'm sad, I'm depressed. I think, what did I even stick around for Christmas for? I should have ran away to the aquarium and stole a whale. What? Yeah, they make lots of sperm. That's why they call them sperm whales. I think I'm starting to fail at what's happening, but that's okay. I don't give a fuck because you didn't expect anything in the first place, did you? Really? Did you? I mean, come on. Look at me. Anyways. That's not easy. You try it. Just try rapping about Christmas lights and beagles and whales. Holy shit. That was one of the harder ones I've encountered, but thank you. Thank you for entertaining it. Thanks, Eugene Kenny, for having this. Have a great night, y'all.
Adam Podolsky, wow, he did it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. There is your next Eminem right there. Right there. Adam Podolsky. All right, cool. Let's just keep the comedy train on the fast track. Your first female comic tonight. Krista Harris, right there. Krista Harris. Let's hear it. Hey, girl. Bring it.
Hey, how's it going? It's really good to be here. I just came here from Texas, so it's really good to be here. I got pulled over in Texas because they saw that I had Colorado plates, and they thought, well, there might be something going on with that. There might be a party going on. Let's see what's happening. So, all right, sorry, man. So they were like, hey, did you know that you were speeding in a construction zone? And I said, I don't think I've been speeding at all or anything. Like, I don't think the construction zone has even been constructed. And yeah, we're gonna move on from that. So, just in case y'all want to know what bombing looked like, I mean, yeah, there it is. But man.
Come on, cats, dogs, whales. It's a wrap.
So I went to the doctor the other day, and they were like looking at my chart, right? And they said, well, it looks like you're pretty overweight now. And I said, well, if you need a chart to tell me that, I'm frankly not sure if I want you to be my doctor, And they were like, well, no, you really have gained some weight, though. And I said, well, don't I usually do that, And so they were like, you really got to do something about this, though. You really got to do something about this if you want this to be a long life. So I did. I like Pillsbury Doughgirled my way on over to the track to do some running. And well, I'll be honest, it wasn't running. It was jogging. Jogging, kind of, I did sit down a lot. I do like to sit. I think you can look at me and say, that's a girl who likes to sit. And the people there were actually like really encouraging, but kind of in a passive-aggressive way, They were like, hey, you looked really good out there. You looked like a retired bodyguard who turned into a fast food critic. I mean, yeah, that was something. And I said, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed like the 6-pack of rolls, And then there was someone else who said, you can run faster than that, right? Like, you know you can run faster than that. So I did, because I really like to avoid confrontation. And so, yeah, I ran a little faster. And after that, I went out to eat because, why not sabotage what I just did, right? And so, the check came, and they were like, do you want anything else to eat? And I said, well, I'm not sure if a second helping of dessert is strictly necessary. But then they were like, oh, come on, girl, you can eat more than that. So I did. I like to avoid confrontation. And, so there's the balance. Let's see, what else? As you may have been able to tell from a little earlier, I'm like a really shy person, and sometimes people will come up to me and say, I don't think I've met anyone shyer than you are, and it almost makes them kind of nervous, because you'll see people on the news and they'll do something crazy, like they'll torch a place, and they'll interview the neighbors about it, and they'll say, well, she was a really quiet person, she mostly kept to herself. So, you gotta look out for those quiet people. So then I'll get people, knocking on my door saying, hey, Krista, how you doing? We're good, right? We're good. How's that medication working out for you? Good? Like, Zoloft is good? Yeah. All right, just making sure. And you don't have a problem with me, right? No? Okay, good. Good. Yeah. So that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for hanging in there.
Krista Harris right there. Yeah. Excellent.
There we go.
Okay, we're back. There. How are we going? All right, cool. That was great. I love that. How long have you been doing stand-up?
This was my second set.
This was your second set. Yes. Yes. That's pretty dang amazing. That's pretty cool. That's why we do this. That's exactly why we do this, is so that people starting out in this business can get a start in this business. And let me tell you something right now. There's not much in your life that you're ever going to do that is more terrifying than what she just did. You're amazing. You're really amazing. Fair enough. Sweet. All right, here we go. Let's keep the comedy train on the fast track. Jeff Albright coming to the stage right there. Very funny Jeff Albright. Right on.
That's me. Hello, everybody. Ari's Tavern. How's everybody doing tonight? Here, come on, wake up. Let's do this. I'm going to tell some jokes. This is my first time ever. No, I've done this before. I say that to my girlfriends all the time, just so there's no expectations. This is my first time ever. I've never done this. No, you guys, I'm actually very lucky I made it out of the house tonight. My wife she was tough to deal with today. It's actually that time of the month. She's ovulating, everybody. We're starting a family. It's family starting time in my house. We don't have any kids yet. I'm 40 years old and I don't have kids, which is a weird kind of anomaly. But we decided to start having kids. You guys, I'm under a lot of pressure though at home. I don't know about you guys. It's a lot more fun to accidentally start a family than it is to purposely start a family. That's a whole lot of work right there. It's a lot of pressure. I don't know about you guys, but have you ever had to maintain an erection while a stopwatch and a thermometer were involved? That is some tough stuff. And I don't use the little blue pill either. I still Jedi mind trick the blood down there. I'm just like, go! And there's one thing on that note. If you guys notice, if you've ever watched a Viagra commercial, every guy in those commercials has a full head of hair, ladies. So just remember, go bald. That's what I'm telling you, go bald. But no, we're starting a family. I'm nervous though. My wife and I were at a party the other day, and another couple came up to us and they said, how many kids do you guys have? And we were like, well, we don't have kids yet. And they're like, oh, you guys are dinks. And I was like, well, that's just racist, and we're not even Chinese, so I don't know. And she was like, no, silly. Dink means dual income, no kids. And I was like, oh, you mean lucky? Yes, we are. We're very lucky. Some would say blessed, I think. But we're lucky. She laughed. She's like, you seem nervous about starting a family. She's like, I could give you one piece of advice. Just make sure you're in a little decent financial situation, and you'll be okay. And I was like, well, if you consider still owing $40,000 for a 6-year general studies degree that I got at a Playboy Party College in 1998, financially stable, then let's do this. And I gave my wife a high five. They laughed. But no, I'll tell you guys this, in case you're worried about me, I have one saving grace in this starting a family situation thing that I'm in. It's that my beautiful wife is actually of Mexican Indian heritage, which means she wants to have a really big family, but she's usually too drunk to do anything about it. I know. That's her favorite joke, if you can believe that. I get off literally and figuratively in my house a lot, everybody. No. I shouldn't make fun of my wife. My wife's great. I try to impress her all the time. I came in the other day, and she was watching TV on her day off, and she was watching the movie Breakin'. Do you guys remember Breakin'? Classic 80s breakdance movie. Oh, that was my shit. I love breakdancing. I came in. I was like, I'm going to show her my skills. I started to do the pop and lock, and at 40 years old, the only thing that happened was I popped my hip out of socket, locked my back up, and ended up falling over the coffee table and breaking her favorite wine glass. It was just like, I think I took that movie too seriously. But my wife loves me. She's good to me. I woke up with a bit of the sniffles the other day, and I had a show at Comedy Works, and I was so nervous. Like, oh, I can't have a cold. And she gave me a packet of Emergency. Are you guys familiar with this product? Emergency. I'm a typical guy. I like to do recreational drugs. I don't do medicinal drugs. Well, unless I'm doing medicinal drugs recreationally. Let's say that. I like my NyQuil, everybody. She gave me this packet emergency. I didn't know. I threw it in my bag. I went to work. And I got to work and I opened it up and it was just a bag of white powder. So I just dumped a rail out on my desk and I was getting ready to do it. I know. And my assistant was like, no, asshole. You don't snort it. You drink it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I ended up scooping the emergency into my Mountain Dew. And you guys, I've never done it before, but now I know what methamphetamines feel like, everybody. It was horrible. 5 minutes after drinking emergency and Mountain Dew, I had sores on my arm that had never been there before. I was just like, what is that? 10 minutes after drinking it, I had my favorite tooth became loose. I was just like, corn on the cob! 20 minutes. This is the worst part. 20 minutes in the emergency and Mountain Dew, I had this overwhelming urge to go to my grandmother's house and like kick her door in, shove her to the ground and steal her VCR. And then I get outside and I'm like, why am I doing this? VCRs aren't worth shit anymore. Why would I do this? So I always take the VCR back inside and I rehook it up. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, does he help his grandmother off the floor? And no, I don't, because I bought her the Life Alert Christmas the year before. And I'm like, Grandma, you're never gonna get your money's worth out of it if I keep having to help you up. She's like, that's my boy. I was like, I knew this was a test. I knew it. You guys, I recently quitting drugs and alcohol, everybody. Thank you. I'm practicing this new thing. People said moderation is now the new sobriety. Someone told me the other day. I was like, hell yeah. But no, I'm trying. I tried to quit drinking. But I'm going to stop it. But the reason I came to this decision is my hangovers have been so bad that they feel like they're coming from the fucking future, everybody. It's like the movie The Terminator when someone comes back in time. There's like a flash of electric light. That's the shit I see before I would pass out generally in my bad days. And I would wake up in an alley off of Colfax, usually with like burn marks on my body and naked, like in the movie. And there'll be a 1978 Pontiac Phoenix running with the keys in it. I'm just like, well, I guess I'll use it. And I go to work and I get to work and I'm like, am I here to work or am I on a mission, like in the movie? And I work at a record store, so I'm like, well, I must be here just to help my boss against some future version of Napster that's just here to kill all the remaining record stores. And I'm like, no, it's actually just work. So I just crawl under my desk usually, go to sleep. I'll leave you guys with this. And I said I'd never say that. I can't believe I said that. Marijuana's legal. Everybody's going to the recreational stores. But I'll tell you guys this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it on the black market like I always have. And I don't mean that I support the whole black market. It's just that I buy most of my weed from this black guy down off Market Street. You guys should go see him. You got to keep supporting it. That cable bill's not going to pay itself, everybody. I got to give a shout out to my mom and dad at home. Watch me on the sky cam there. You guys have been great, Harvey's Tavern. Let's give it up for your host, Eugene Kenny.
Jeff Albright right there. Jeff, hey. Jeff's mom and dad. How you doing? Good to see you. Right on. Cool. I have one pot joke. Wanted to try. Hello. What? It's cool. No problem. Whatever. We good? Okay. My dispensary closed for updates for about 3 weeks, but when it opened, it only had bigger jars. Okay, thought I'd try that. All right, cool. Don't worry. We'll edit that out. The people at home will never know that happened. Thank you. All right, cool. All right, your next comic. First time tonight. We've had black comics. We've had second timer comics. We've had lawyer comics. Now we got a blind comic. Ladies and gentlemen. Right there, David Glasspool, right there. Come on. You there? You there? All right, cool. Enjoy yourself.
Did someone just say he can't see me? Are you freaking 8? Have you never seen a blind person before, ever in your life? That's like a 5-year-old seeing a blind person for the first time and going, he can't see me, ha 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 ha. Except you probably have a driver's license and can purchase firearms. That's the scary thing. Oh, God, you guys smell good, though. Oh. All of you. Took the old horse out of the saddle right here, or the old saddle out of the horse. I don't know how it goes. If I bump into this is just my little sweet, skinny girlfriend keeping me warm. If you guys aren't laughing, this little lady right here keeps me warm. There you go. Oh, yeah. Y'all get quiet. I always get bigger applause breaks when I walk on stage because I have a disability, which is awesome. I generally don't like play the blind card, but it's pretty freaking sweet to be like, just, oh, yeah. They love me for who I am and for what I am. I don't know. I'll tell some... But I'll fill up the friggin' quota because, after all, I am just Josh Blue with a different disability, only I'm not funny and famous and rich and all that crap. Oh, yeah. Man. There seems to be an epidemic in society. People are obsessed with the color of other people's skin. And by that I mean people are obsessed with asking me what color I think their skin is based off of the way that they friggin' talk. And they always do it in just horribly stereotypical dialects. It's terrifying. A guy came up to me at the light rail station the other day and was like, "Yo, man, what the hell's going on? Yo, blind brother, can you tell what color I am by the way I'm talking to you?" I'm just like, oh, I will not fall into your demon snare. Like you're trying to find, like it's, like when that happens, I feel like I'm on some sort of reality show, not like To Catch a Predator, but To Catch a Blind Racist. Like some sort of hidden camera show, which for me is a camera show. So I did not answer that guy. And lucky for me, turns out that black guy was a 65-year-old Vietnamese woman. And I got a date tonight, so that's gonna be good. That's gonna be beautiful. You know what I love? I have like maybe a 5-foot range of vision, and there's always like a table right at the front of every show or open mic I ever do. And there's someone sitting right there, I can see that, but generally what happens is there's an empty table with no one sitting at it. So from my small visual perspective, I'm always playing to this just room of a table with 4 chairs and no one sitting there. There could just be a laugh track behind it. The reason you guys didn't laugh is because you don't know the sad, sad, depressing feeling of being at an open mic night in a dive bar on Colfax. If you did know, you'd be laughing and crying with me. Oh, God. I do a lot of voices. I do a lot of voices in my act, and just in general, and I get asked a lot, like, "David, what's the craziest voice you have? What's the craziest out there insane character voice you got?" And so I let them have it. So I say,
It's whenever I speak like this. "Oh, hello. Oh, this is a crazy voice."
and people are like, "Whoa, glass pool. Does that voice have a name?" And I always say, no, it doesn't, because that's how exorcism movies start. That's the first scene in every demon-possessed movie. Just, if I give a name to that voice, it's going to come alive in my sleep and kill people and blame me for it, and I'll end up in prison. It won't be fair. But next time somebody asks me, does that little weird voice, does that have a name? Rather than say no, I'm just going to say,
Of course it has a name. Its name is
Zool. There you go. Little Ghostbusters reference right there. So I do use my voices for evil as well. Not always for good. Guy came up to me on the street the other day and asked me for some money. I didn't have any. So I said, no, I don't have any money. Sorry. But then I thought about it. I'm like, maybe I should add something to this. I don't want to just say no. I want to use my disability as an advantage and use my voices to creep him out a little bit. And so I said, no, I've got no money, Mr. Homeless Man. But then I paused, turned around, and then turned around back towards him. Got real menacing. Leaned over to him and said, however, my boy, I will grant your wish if in return you give me a pound of your flesh. Yes, 10,000 shekels for your eyes, my boy. Give me your eyes. See, I took this dude's eyes. I took this homeless guy's eyes from him. He was a blind homeless guy, though, so that's why I'm friggin' here. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna tell a couple more and then get out of here. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting each other's time, you know, doing that thing. I'm not going to be driving, right? All right, let's dance. I have driven before, twice, once in a Taco Bell parking lot. It was Taco Bell, so no one gave a shit if I destroyed it. One, earlier, a comic who I thought was good said, why is there Braille on a drive-thru ATM? Because you can walk up to an ATM. That's why. I walk up to them all the time. And sometimes people say, well, man, Glasspool, what if you get hit by a car? Nobody goes 60 miles an hour through a freaking drive-thru ATM. So I've got nothing to worry about. They also said that they saw a Braille sign that said School for the Blind. My question is for that sighted person, how do you know? It was in Braille. You just saw a bumpy sign. Or maybe you do know Braille, and for that I don't judge you for being bilingual, even though Braille's not a language. Yes, touche. That is a word which was invented in Delaware in 1703. Google it. It's false. That's good. But I do get a lot of weird questions. People come up to me and ask me if I want to feel their face to see if they're sexy. No, I don't. Ray Charles lied to all of you. That movie was wrong. We don't do that. We don't grab girls' wrists to see if they're fat, although that was a cool idea that I had totally never thought of. So thank you, Ray Charles, for that. I get asked if I should use my cane as a pickup line. Dude, tell chicks you got a big stick. And to that I say, what do you think the male anatomy looks like that you think that this looks anything like a penis? You weird guy with a brand of herpes that I don't want to be near. Oh, God. People ask me all the time, just like, do you see better at night? I'm just like, everybody. Do you see worse at night? I'm like, everyone sees worse at night, except bats, and I'm not a bat. Oh, God. Either way, friggin' off the subject of the blind really quick. Got two more and then I diverted. My apologize. I hope I don't get stabbed for telling this joke. But earlier I was talking to somebody who said that they had 3 felonies, that they had a DUI, domestic abuse charges, and just felony aggravation for waving a gun in public. And I said, sarcastically, maybe I shouldn't ask you to drive my wife to the shooting range. But it was pretty funny. But then he said, like, if anybody messes with me about it, I'll mess them up because no one's going to expect it from me. I think that somebody who tells you their rap sheet within 37 seconds of meeting you is exactly who you would expect to rough you up. But he was a friendly guy with a firm handshake, and I respected him, you know? He looked me in the eyes. I felt it. There was a moment. I don't care what you guys think. There you go. That happened. In the 10th grade, I played a mentally challenged kid in a musical in high school. You shouldn't clap for that. It was horrible. It was terrifying. It was a bad musical. And I had to sing a solo song about being in special ed, which was wrong. And the chorus of the song was like, I'm a kid in special ed with a personality, though I'm different from the crowd. It's true. I'm a person just like you. I had to sing that in front of friends and family and bullies and their parents who were probably also bullies. It was terrifying. And since then, things have been really weird for old Sightless Dave, old No Eyes Glasspool. And I'll let you in on a few things, and then I will let some other humans do things. Here are some weird things that have happened to me since I played a mentally challenged kid. I didn't sleep with a girl until I was 21. I don't remember it. I was sober, however. That's kind of sad. I was 22 when I discovered the last line of the national anthem was not the home of the Braves, like the baseball team, it was the Brave. I once ate Fruit Teeth shampoo because someone told me it had pieces of real fruit in it, that it was edible. That was wrong. I once decided to please myself after eating boiled crawfish and not washing my hands thoroughly, and I cried on my shower floor for 30 minutes. I have made out with not one, but two, but three women who apparently had facial hair, and I did not know until the moment of truth. But I'm a professional, so I delivered. There you go. I once went out with a girl who thought Star Wars really happened. She thought Star Wars really happened. She thought Star Wars really happened. I got hit by a car once. An old lady got out and apologized and then invited me to her church, which is the best form of evangelism, by the way. And I recently found out that bald eagles aren't bald and that the guy from Hootie and the Blowfish was black. I didn't know. That's the irony of the joke. I didn't say there was anything wrong with being black. I simply said that I didn't know because I was blind. All of those things happened because I was forced to play a mentally challenged kid in the 10th grade. So if you have kids, and for most of your sake, dear Jesus, I hope you don't. Some of you, I hope you do. Don't give your kids disabilities they don't have. Don't make your blind kids deaf or your deaf kids blind. And don't make your blind kids play mentally challenged kids in musicals. I'm sorry, I was really taken aback with somebody saying, what is wrong with black? What's wrong with him being black? Mostly because it makes me wonder how long that person had been here. Like, it would be acceptable if they'd been here for 3 seconds. I don't know. That's hard? What's hard? What if I'm brown? So give it up for the blind comedian in the deaf audience.
David Glasspool right there. David Glasspool. Couple of thoughts ran through my head. First, angry blind dude. I thought that. I really did. Secondly, he stepped off the stage. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. But then he stepped back on the stage backwards, and I thought, how blind is this fucker? Seriously. So, that's... so anyway. All right, and your next comic.
I saw him see nice house
Yeah.
on the patio.
I got you. Right on. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your last of the up-and-comers before we bring up your headliner, Chuck Roy. And thank you for coming to do a set, Chuck Roy. And right here is one of my favorite comics in Denver right now. Coming to the stage, she'll take over the room. Ladies and gentlemen, here she comes, Rosalind McClure right here. Rosalind McClure. Have fun, baby. Go get 'em.
I'm blind. I'm blind. Y'all gotta laugh anyway. Fuck that. That was the longest set I ever heard, blind man. I'm sorry. But shit, we comics. We can talk about anything. I talk about my mama. She play with boogers. My kids is black as hell because I dated an African. That's a lie. All right, how y'all doing? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? I'm not gonna mess with the blind man. He was funny, but I'm serious, Eugene. I don't know how he got off the stage. He got down, he got up, he got down. I feel like doing a Hollywood shuffle with him. I said that's some straight up bullshit. Then we had Dick Black up here. Just the name alone make you wonder, what the fuck was his mama doing? I'm gonna name this baby Dick Black. I'm bullshitting Dick, I'm sorry. I done had some cucumber shots. So, hey, my name is Rosalind. I'm here. Hi, new girl. You did good. You were wonderful. Yay. So, I'm from Michigan. I love, hey, ho. Ain't no music in this motherfucker. Nah. You notice when you get older, your body move different? You start humping shit because you ain't getting none. All old ladies do this. And old mans do this. I'm just playing. I don't know what's up with that. It's the facial expressions. I remember. So yeah, I moved from Michigan. I moved far, a long way. Got my heart broke by a no good bitch. I'm just playing. So I came out here. I started dating. Start meeting people, you know, on a date. Want to get back in the groove of things. I smell breath. It must be mine. I just playing. That's the cucumber. So, you know, I started dating. Went on a date. Ladies, you know how it go when you go on a date with the guy. For some reason, they always want to take you to a Mexican restaurant. I mean, no, for real, is that true? I mean, we love Mexican. But Mexican food is for when you're home or if you're married, because Mexican food gives you gas. That's just the way it is. Tell the truth about it. Tell the truth about it. So, you know, I went on a date. We at the Mexican restaurant, because I do love Mexican food. But I don't like the after effects. And when you on a date, you don't want that to happen. You know, you want to be on a comfortable date. You don't want to have to fight for your life to party, you know? Because something go to happening. I don't know why. And then at home, at least it'll wait an hour before, you know, you start expressing yourself. Go to talking shit, your ass go to shit talking. I'm not saying it make you take a dump or anything, but it does give you gas. Tell the truth. Who all got gas from Mexican food? I know y'all have. Don't be lying. Don't try to. Tell the truth. So, you know, I'm on a date. We sitting down. We eating. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'll take the bean tostadas, you know, because they good. Put more lettuce than beans. More lettuce than beans. They put more beans than anything. So you eating because you drinking, and all of a sudden you sitting there and you feeling something going on, and you don't want to let your date know what's happening, and they're thinking that it's something they've done because you start getting all these funny looks on your face. Well, listen, nigga, listen. Oh, can I say nigga? Can I say nigga? Ninja, listen, ninja. Put a ninja on it. So you sitting there and all of a sudden you start feeling stuff going on down in your stomach, and you don't want to make a scene, you know, so you want to be cool about it and calm about it, but you can't help it because it seems like nowadays, as you get older, gas gets more treacherous. They start carrying razor blades, knives, chainsaws. Gas carries, and don't drink no milk over 40. Because you end up in the hospital. You be thinking, what the hell? Oh my God, something in this all gas. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Why you laughing? I drank some milk the other day. I thought I was gonna die. I said, oh Lord. It was gas. It came out an hour later. I said, oh, I can go to work now. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, and then it seems like if they have a name, like they breaking out of prison, like they in Alcatraz, and it's a riot going on, and they all want to come out at the same damn time. I don't understand that. You know, why do you want to come out while I'm on a date? So I'm sitting there trying to keep my composure, trying to hold everything together. When I say hold everything together, I mean my butt cheeks. Because that's the only thing that can hold your gas in. Ladies, you ever been on a date and you got gas and you holding it real tight Then you catch a cramp in your stomach and in your leg, and you start walking like you're handicapped. Some ain't right, some ain't right, some ain't right. But then all of a sudden, it always escapes, and it rolls up the butt cheek. If you in Denver, you got a big ass, and it's gonna roll up that butt cheek. So you sitting there, and you sitting in your seat, and it's like it itches up every second. And you can't move, because if you move, it go up a little more. Like, oh shit, it's about to get out. It's like Braveheart. It's like Mel Gibson in Braveheart. And it eases up, and it eases up, and it eases up, and it eases up, and then it gets to the tip, and it go. It's a quiet little thing, but it makes a whole lot of noise once you smell it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk about nasty stuff. But that's the truth. That's what goes on. And what I want to know, this is something I've been thinking about lately. Never talked about it on stage, but what the hell goes on in elevators? Why is the rudest people you ever meet is already in the elevator? You ever notice when you go up to an elevator, they're trying to hurry and push the button so you can't get on? And once you get on, they give you a look. And what I hate is when I'm in the elevator and somebody trying to hurry up and get on, and I don't want their ass to get on with me. I don't know why. It seems like the elevator is a place for me. If I push that button, that is for me. That's not for anybody else come running, gotta pee, whatever they gotta do. It's for me. And then you sit there like, yes, yes, yes. You're not getting on. Then you see this some shit like this. What the fuck is this? I don't like this shit. Because the elevator stops them. It pisses me off. And then they look at you. Like, you know I was trying to get on the elevator. I don't give a damn. But you don't say nothing. Oh, I didn't see you. I didn't see you. Oh, I seen your ass. I just didn't want you on here. So that's one thing I was thinking about. Another thing I was thinking about, how many white women in the crowd? How many white women in the crowd? There we go. I mean, you know, we in America, we watch First 48, and they're always portraying these black guys killing and killing and killing. But damn, I want a white woman to be my best friend, because they will murk your ass. White women kill people. Y'all don't watch Snapped? All you see on there is white women. What the fuck? They're supposed to be the preciousest jewel, the most grandest thing. Oh my God, she's white, she's a beautiful, oh, she's a flower. That bitch will kill your ass. You white women be killing people. He cheated on me, damn it. He left me with 2 kids and $1 million. Fuck that, I'm gonna kill him. Fuck the money, he got to be gone. I don't understand that shit, bitch. You got the money, you got the house, you got Fido, you got everything, but they kill. Why y'all be doing that shit? Y'all know y'all kill a nigga, right? White woman is the, I don't know, I'm not even gonna say shit because y'all might murk me tonight. Fuck that. I'm not even scared of gang members no more. I'm scared of white women. Beware of white women. They kill you with food. They put shit like pesticide in your cornbread and say the maid made it. Y'all be fucking people up. But anyway, I got a joke for you. I guess y'all didn't like that. Don't talk about our white women. I got a joke for you. There's 3 men walking on the beach, right? And they just walking, having a good time. They see a lantern. So they pick up the lantern, they go to rubbing it. They was like, this shit might just be real. They go to rubbing the motherfucking lantern and shit, and the genie pop out. Whoop, to my surprise. So the genie say, ooh, I'll grant you a wish. Each one of y'all get 1 wish. They was like, cool. He said, but think about it. Whatever you wish for, your wife is gonna get double. There wasn't no white women around. I just bullshit, white lady. Oh, don't kill me. But anyway, so the first man said, I want $1 million. He said, so be it. Boop, your wife's gonna get 2. He said, fine, that's fine with me. The second man said, I want a Lamborghini. He was like, cool. You get a Lamborghini, your wife get 2. He was happy with that. So the third guy was just standing there. You know, he didn't say nothing. It was like, hey, it's your wish, dog. Oh, they weren't Mexican, sorry. It's your wish, man, it's your wish. He was like, well, I gotta think about this. So he sat there, he thought for a minute. He said, I wanna get beat half to death. That's all I got for y'all. Have a good night.
That's Rosalind McClure right there. That is Rosalind McClure right there. All righty. Wow. You people are so amazing. Thank you for staying. Your headliner tonight actually is just coming in to work out some material. Very, very funny guy, veteran, Denver comedy, 2 half-hour specials, Will and Grace, clubs, colleges all over the country, and resume like I can't even tell you. One of my funniest people, one of my best friends, Chuck Roy, right there. Chuck.
Hey. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Hello to Ari's Tavern, and I hope you're having a good Friday. I'm drinking beer, and I'm thrilled about that. I earned today's beer. I've gotten back into working out, which is a fat guy's way of saying trying to jog. Thank you. I know the sight of me jogging might be funny. I look a little bit like Bigfoot. When I run, I wave my arms behind my back just to make the neighbors giggle. I jog at Cheeseman Park. I jog twice a day. Oh, do you know Cheeseman Park? He might be teasing me there. Some of you might be shy. Cheeseman Park is, that's our... That's, no, that is... Well, there's a little bit of cheese, and it could be mine. All right, I think most of you are with me. Some of you might be visiting. Some of you might be working at one of the local neighborhood factories. You're wondering what's all the giggle about. Cheeseman is our pickle park. That's what they would call it where I come from in New Hampshire. They call it a pickle park because, pickles grow on the inside of the bushes. Go in there and look, you'll find them. It's a good place to go jog, man. It's a scenic place. Today I enjoyed the scenery, and I'm getting pretty good at jogging. I kept a pretty good pace. I got behind one lady. She's faster, a little Latina. Her pace was like picante sauce. It's made of vegetables. You said that joke wouldn't work. I was like, I'm still going with it. There were a couple of hobos there, and their pace was a little more statuesque. They just sort of sat still. Their pace was even a little bit artistic. It looked like it was government funded. That's strike 2 on that joke. Let me double check. What was the cover charge on this show? Okay, so I don't got to do the new one. I don't got to do the old ones, right? I still get to try. I got to see if I have one more pace joke. Let me just jog my memory. All right, that one, I'll keep that one, at least. Now, if you've never jogged the Cheeseman Park, it's scenic. There's a sweeping view of the Rockies. There's gorgeous statues. There's a big hill in the back. That's the part I find hard. That's the one I'm trying to conquer, and I jog there twice a day. The hill is in the woods, and the hill is steep. And if you're jogging up the very steep hill and in those really dark woods and you come to a stop right in the middle of those dark woods, you get a blowjob. Yeah, that's why I jog twice a day. It's going good. Getting into the fitness. I had a. They are short shorts, sir. My balls dangle out of them. But that's how I keep pace. It's like my own metronome.
That was so good.
Thank you, sir. I go for that with a lot of my jokes. Now, I took a break after my jog, and if you know Cheeseman Park, it's beautiful. They got that gorgeous Parthenon there, and I learned things today. I learned I'm not fast enough at jogging. Bears can run 35 miles an hour. I think I'm gonna have to improve my pace. The only way I could run 35 miles an hour if it was from a relationship. Now that's a good joke. I'll give you the pace picante joke. I'll give you that one. A lot of people said it was terrible, but that last joke was good, and not all of you laughed. So I'm starting to question your role as a judge in this audience.
Come on, keep going.
I'm gonna keep going, sir. You relax. That's all. Now, I was relaxing near the Greek Parthenon, and I noticed a cute little couple visiting Capitol Hill. Adorable little gay couple, older than me. And they're taking their pictures with the view in the background. They're swapping out. One would take the picture of the other. They're cute, you know, but a little older than me, and I think maybe too old school. Either they didn't know about the selfie or they weren't gonna do that. You know, they're good gay folk. They got money. They come from Lyman. You know, they're here to see the city. They're staying at a Holiday Inn Express. They used points. So I decided, why don't I offer to take their photo for them, you know? And I said, fellas, maybe you'd like me to take a group photo of you with the gorgeous mountains behind you. And now I know I look like the kind of guy that might steal your cell phone from you. And I think that's what they looked at me like, you know, they had to, and I was like, oh, I'm a good guy, I'll just take your photo. And then I realized they weren't looking at me like I was gonna steal their cell phone. They were looking at me like, even if I stole their cell phone, I couldn't run fast enough to get away from them. I took their cell phone. I ran like hell with it. I used it on the bus here. That's where I learned the bears can run 35 miles an hour. You might ask, how did I know what their password is? Well, that's real simple. They're gay, so the password was Glee, 8 p.m. That's the time Glee starts, miss. You know that picante sauce has vegetables in it. I'm gonna try to save that joke, Eugene. There's no savor for it. All right, that's all the material I wanted to do. All right, here comes. Here comes the encore. Eugene and I are gonna go out after this to take Maria. I'm single again, so she's excited. She's hated everyone I've ever dated. It's because they're all 24. You want me to date someone my age? Come on, I'm in show business. I don't do this to fuck someone old and miserable. We'll go out to, we'll go to the gay bar. And that's where I've got my new favorite gay bar in Capitol Hill. It's an Irish bar. It's called Top of the Bottom. We got to go tonight. We tried going last night, couldn't get in. It was lesbian night. And the place was packed with lesbians. There were 3 of them. Y'all got that one good. They're having a sit-in. Happy little girls. I was going to say, don't worry, there'll be no lesbians at this show. It's a comedy show. You got to want to have a sense of humor to come to this. Probably going to leave the lesbians doing something else tonight. Got to guess there's a tractor pull within 6 miles of this place. Here's the thing. I don't know if y'all ever been to a gay bar. This is something you're going to learn. They don't dance the train. And you would, if you think like me, I would think that would be the most popular dance. I would think as soon as you pay the cover charge, as soon as you get right in, it's like, all right, Danny, you be the engine. Where's Tommy? You be the caboose. I want to be the 10-passenger car. I'm sorry, but that's. I did. My last boyfriend wasn't smart at all. We had a fancy dinner. Our last dinner was a terrible date. I didn't pay, so that worked out okay. You know, when you're on a date that's going terribly, but you know you're not going to pay, then you know you should just drink. Right? And so that was, and this is why the date went bad, is as soon as the steaks hit the table, my date looks at me and goes, so you think we could ever have kids? Yeah. And I said, I don't think you know how homosexuality works. That's my set. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night, everybody.
Chuck Roy! Chuck Roy! Wow. Well, there you have it, man. That is the Friday Night Showcase. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting live comedy. And thank you so much, Ari's Tavern. We are going to do this again in 2 weeks. Not next Friday, but the Friday after that. So put that on your calendar and come back. Also, before we go, these comics that you saw, they're up-and-coming comics. If you saw someone that you like, please go up to them, tell them that you liked them, get their information, go to their Facebook page, pretend you're going to go to their shows that you're really not going to go to. But I want you to at least talk to them and tell them how funny they were. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, comics. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.